Hi Nixon, this is your lesson review from August 21st. And in this lesson, we worked on a lot of things, starting on page 20 of the Green Book, the tutor book. Specifically, you are now capable of playing the entire scale from low G all the way up to high A, back down. And so just as a reminder, what we want to have here is nice and slow and careful fingering, good solid coverage of the holes, starting on a solid low G. If you want to pause the video at this time and get your fingers in that low G position, this is a good time to do that. And be mindful of which pads you're playing on, mostly the second pad. And we want to make sure you have good coverage. And so you start, and you can play along with me. And you'll notice, whenever you take a breath, you keep your fingers in the position they were before the breath, get your breath back, and then you continue from that note you left off on. You don't want to skip any notes when you take a breath. The next thing we worked on was the G grace note, which is the beginning of lesson 2. We started with the G grace note, which is just lifting the G finger and bringing it back down to make a little chip sound. So on low A, that would sound like this. You can play a G grace note on any note that's below it, but today we just worked on low A. The next thing we worked on, I want you to do those on your own for a while. So pause the video and do that. When you're done with the G grace note practice, what you want to work on is a G, D, E triplet. So this is bringing in new grace notes, G grace note, D grace note, E grace note, in that order. And you may recall that we play the G, D, E triplet on multiple notes, low G, low A, B, and C. So here's a demonstration of the G, D, E triplet on low G. We'll do 2 in a row, 2 sets. Same thing on low A. Same thing on B. And lastly, on C. Once you've practiced that on your own, and by maybe replaying this portion of the recording to do it with me, or on your own is fine, what we're going to do is a speed exercise on your GDEs. This is where you get to have a little bit of fun with the GDE, and you challenge yourself to play the GDE in the correct order, nicely and cleanly, but where you speed it up very gradually each time. And what you want to do is play this until you make a mistake. We call that failure, but that's good. It's a good failure. It makes you build your muscle memory and your brain. So what we do here, I'm going to do it nice and slowly. You can try and copy me if you'd like, play along, or listen to my example, and then pause the video and do it by yourself. It goes like this. Now that's pretty fast, but I want you to work until you can play it as fast as possible, and if you make a mistake, stop, go back to the slow speed, and start over. This is sort of a way to challenge yourself. The last thing that we worked on was the tune Mary Had a Little Lamb, and in this you have G grace notes, you have G, D, E triplets, and you also have an E strike, which is like that. We worked on that at the lesson. So here's the first line of Mary Had a Little Lamb. So it may be too quickly for you to play with me on that, but you've heard it, so now you can pause the video and try it on your own. Happy chantering!